Hello, viewers, ladies and gentlemen. I am here yet again with another episode on my show, Win Life Like a Warrior. And you know that warrior, I am not implying to that one who goes to the battlefield and fights. I'm not referring to that. I am referring to a one who is in his personal or in her personal life, fight the daily odds, the odds of society, odds of apprehensions, odds of prejudice, also odds of vices, and then he comes out as a winner in the life. So that is what I mean the win life like a warrior. I have designed a framework, seven-step framework, which is acronymed as a warrior only. So what W means the one who is the winning, having the winning mindset. A is for that who has altered his attitude from the negative to positive. Then R is one who has removed the clutter from his life. The clutter could be physical, emotional, or maybe that mental clutter. The next R is he become a reinventing himself. He has reinvented himself. And then the I is the one who is inspiring himself or who is inspiring others. So that is the I. So WAIR. And then comes the O. The O is that you are offering gratitude to the people who are around you, who has made you what you are today. And then finally, next R is your reaping the reward, means that you have reached to a situation where you are impacting the life of others. So that is the seven-step framework which I am using to achieve my mission of how to unhook the past and win life like a warrior. So in that series, ladies and gentlemen, today I have got another life warrior who is Lieutenant Dr. Rita Gangwani. She is warrior in true sense that she has been ex-army. She is, after retiring from army, she is doing so much of grand work in the public life that she is living like a warrior. In the sense that today she is a TEDx speaker, she is a Joe Stock speaker. She is transforming the life from darkness to the lightness of the people. She is also a pageant coach, mentor, what not. So with this brief introduction about Rita, let me go back to her and ask her, Rita, welcome to the show, Win
Thank you.
Life Like a Warrior.
Thank you, sir.
And
I'm honored to be on this platform. Thank you, sir.
so, Rita, to start with, let me know first your background that where did you come from? How did you start your life? Let's know from you.
Okay, sir, I was born and brought up in a small town. It used to be once upon a time, Shimla, which is now a commercial big hub. But at that time, it was a very small city. I was born and brought up there. I did my schooling from St. Thomas School. And when I was in school, I was a very happy child till class three. Life was very nice. My mom was alive. Things were good. But when I reached class four, I realized that suddenly I was made to stand first in the line all the time. And, being a child, you don't know why. So I always thought it's because I'm so cute. They want me to stand first. I must be the prettiest one. So I loved standing first in the line. And from fifth to sixth, sixth to seventh, I was always first in the line. And my friends, they used to call me with all kinds of names. They forgot my name. It was only then I realized what was happening with me in my life in those days. People were calling me THINGOO. THINGOO means a thumb, somebody who's equivalent to a thumb. So THINGOO, BONNEY, Nati, all these kinds of names. And I used to wonder why. It's because I was very short, sir. In those days, I must be about 4 feet 3 inches, while my friends were much taller. And by the time I was in class seven, I was 4 feet 7 inches, and all my friends had grown quite tall. And because I was also short and little fat, so they started calling me mini road roller. And I used to laugh on their face, but it really used to hurt me. Why me? Why me? I was excellent in studies, but these names, these labels which were put on me, labels are best on the jars, but when you start putting labels on people, it actually kills them. So it's like putting, like in postmortem, we put labels. Okay, this is the brain and this is liver. So same way, it was a dead thing for me. So I was losing my confidence because nobody was involving me. Any sports, I was out. Any kind of school activity, they used to ignore me. And it was horrible, sir, when in class 10, when I went for a school audition for a play, that teacher laughed at me in front of everyone. And she says, "What do you think you're doing here?" I said, "Ma'am, I've come to give the audition for the leading lady." She really laughed at me. And when I argued, "Ma'am, I have the talent, at least check me out," she slapped me. And that slap was the turning point of my life. If she hadn't slapped me, I'm extremely grateful. At that time, I used to crib and cry, "Sir, why did she slap me? Why?" I never thought I'll forgive her. But now, at this point of my life, I think that slap was extremely necessary for me, because if she hadn't slapped me, I wouldn't be where I am today. She slapped me and actually put me in a mental prison
I, I,
by letting me know that I was worthless. I would never be able to do anything in my life, and all kinds of horrible things. And by the time I was in college, everybody actually had written me off. I quietly used to go sit in my class, come back, no social life, nothing. But there was a time in college, sir, it was Amitabh Bachchan days. Amitabh Bachchan ji had just come and Zanjeer movie had just been released. So all boys used to dress up like Amitabh Bachchan. So when I entered the college, I came across a guy who looked so much like Amitabh Bachchan. And one sided, sir, I fell in love with this boy. I got totally infatuated towards him. And to an extent, I won't go to my class till I see him. So one fine day, a middleman took a message to him about me. And the message came back in Hindi. It was, "अरे वो जो गेट पे खड़ी होती है ना, अक्ल है ना शक्ल, ना अक्ल है ना शक्ल." This sentence was the biggest nail in the coffin, sir. It killed me from within, and I completely stopped going to college. I locked myself in my room. I won't talk to anyone, and all the time I was planning, how do I end my life? I even tried, but I think God had different plans for me. But there was one teacher who slapped me, and here comes another teacher who was my music teacher. When she,
I will interrupt you here.
uh,
I'll go on that question as well.
sir,
Rita, that people have created that box, okay,
yes, yes,
and people have created that prison for you.
yes, sir.
What do you think that why these people, why this kind of prison or the box are created by the people? How one should take or treat them? Because what you have gone through, the thousands of people who are listening this or the viewers who are watching this
Yes.
must be knowing that, must be going through that kind of prison once they are living. For example, like the prison which you have referred somewhere, that why the girl should play with the doll and the boys should play with the football. That is the kind of prison or the box created by the society. So what do you like to say on that?
Sir, I think it's basically the mindset of people. And it could have been better, but it's getting worse, frankly speaking. It's because all the media we see, all the digital media everywhere, uh, only good looking, fair looking, tall, model looking people, only those people are looked at as achievers. People who are actually achievers are behind the scenes. They never get a chance to come forward. And because of that box, they are completely ignored. And the basic thing we need to do is to understand that we are all children of God. When God did not do any discrimination while creating us, and we are like we are imperfect in our own ways. There is no one who's perfect on this earth. This is what society should realize. Every person has some flaw or the other. You go to the highest, even that person will have a flaw. And God has created us in this particular way for a reason. We don't realize that at that time. But that is what our uniqueness is. That is what our identity is. And that is what makes us separate from the crowd.
Absolutely.
God did not do any discrimination. In fact, he went all out to create a designer piece out of all of us. But here in this society, people, as I said, have created that little box. If you fit into it, you are perfect. Otherwise, you're too tall, too small, too short, too fat, too thin. All kinds of labels will come to you. So basically, we need to understand that life comes in all shapes and sizes, all colors and heights. And we need to understand that this is what makes life beautiful. Imagine, sir, if I give you dal every day to eat, every day you're eating dal, you get so bored of it. Similarly, if everybody is a replica of everyone, in everybody is a clone, what is the fun in this world? So this is the uniqueness which should bring out in people. That is what our identity is. But this is the mindset we need to change, which is coming back from a very, very long time. And I think media, if anybody from media is listening to me, we need your help to change this mindset. Because inclusion is the word, sir.
Yeah.
What tall people, short people, fat people, thin people can do, everyone can do. Perfect people and imperfect looking people, everybody can do the same thing. But it's just because we ignore them, we do not actually realize their existence. So
I agree. I agree with you, Rita. There is nothing, no discrimination, except it's the difference of fixed mindset and the growth mindset. All the problem lies in the mindset. So people have to grow out of their mindset. Okay, they have to be having the growth mindset.
Yes, and I would like to also say, sir, that before we change people, the first thing we need to do is to change ourselves.
Yes.
People who are suffering, like how I was suffering, because of all these words coming to me and all the people putting me down, I looked at myself as a nobody. But whoever is suffering in whichever way, they have to realize that it's not the people who make us, it's we who make ourselves. So the day you realize that you have your own worth, the day you realize that you are unique, and you need not to prove it to anyone, people will automatically see you and would appreciate you. So before everybody else, change yourself first.
So that is where the what is called is self-love. You start loving yourself.
True,
okay.
Yeah.
And the sentence which you use, the wonderful sentence that we are all perfect with all the imperfections.
True, sir.
Okay, and everybody is perfect in himself. It's only that you should start loving yourself. You should project yourself. So unless you respect yourself, you can't expect from others. And
True,
that is where it happened when that second teacher came in your life as an angel. And that is where you realize, yes, why should I bother about my heightism? Viewers, let me just tell you that she has been victim of this heightism issue from her childhood to the adulthood. And that is where another teacher came as an angel in her life. And then she realized her worth, and she realized that she is unique. She realized that she has many more other peculiar characteristic on which she can encash, and she can grow, and she can do wonders in her life. And the day she realized that, the life changed. So let's listen from Rita herself.
Yes, sir. So, and this is something which I would want anybody who's suffering in any way like me should also do. My teacher came and she told me that, if a 100 rupee note crushed, made dirty, whatever we do with that note, it will still have the value of a 100 rupee note. Similarly, society will break you. It will make you feel dirty. It will do all kinds of things to you, but you have a value. And she told me the first thing you need to do is to realize your own value. And that can only come when you start accepting the reality of who you are. Most of us, when we are standing in front of the mirror in the morning, I can bet on it. Most of us stand in front of the mirror, and as we are, grooming ourselves, we keep saying, oh, I wish my hair was better. I wish my color was better. I wish my nose was better. And when we say these negative things, who hears them first? It's we. How many of us actually stand in front of the mirror, hug ourselves and say, wow, I love you for what you are?
Yes,
Very few people will do that. And she made me realize that if you keep telling yourself you are not worth it, you're not good, your body itself will not respond. How will your soul feel? Your soul will feel totally insulted. And then she made me do an exercise. She took out a page and she told me to draw a line and write on one side what are the things I think are good in me and what are the things are I feel are not good in me. And when I completed that exercise, I saw the things which were good in me was quite a number, but things which were bad in me were just 3 and 4. And she says, see, I told you, you have so many good things in you. What happens is that, like magnifying glass, when we were kids, we used to put that magnifying glass, focus, and then with sun rays, we used to burn
Yes,
the
yes, yes.
paper.
I
And
also did
otherwise,
that.
also, sir, whenever we want to really magnify a word, we put that magnifying glass. We focus on that word with that magnifying glass. So when we focus on negativity with that mindset of
Yes,
magnifying
yes,
glass, it looks bigger and bigger and bigger. So she told me what you need to do is to just change the direction of that magnifying glass towards what good you have. You can speak well, you can perform well, you can do so many other things. She says, just look at those. And when those things will become bigger, these things will become automatically very small, insignificant. And she made me realize that it does not matter what is between your head and your feet. What matters is what is between your head and your chin and how you use it.
absolutely.
And that's how the mindset changed. I focused on the good things I had. And when you actually focus on good things automatically come to you through law of attraction.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
this is how that was the way my life changed, sir.
So very nice. I think that is what the beginning of your new life after that angel came in your life. So
True,
there
sir.
was one teacher who totally destroyed your self confidence, and there was another who uplifted your spirit, and you became a different Rita. And that is what happens in the life of everyone. You have to see the good ones rather than looking at the bad ones. You have to
But
forget.
but also, sir, the bad ones are also actually doing good to you.
Yes, yes,
If she hadn't slapped me, I would have been, full of myself. I wouldn't have realized that something was wrong with me. It was
yeah,
when she slapped me, it made me aware of everything on this earth happens for a reason.
yes,
We
yes,
never realize that maybe later in life we turn around and say, oh, okay, why, if that hadn't happened, this wouldn't have happened.
yes.
So I've forgiven that teacher. And in fact, I'm very thankful to her for doing what she did to me. But I think teachers, if any teacher is listening to me, it's extremely important to be a teacher who can hold the hand of a child and bring that child out into the brightness rather than pushing them into darkness. Teachers are somebody who can really make or break a human being.
Absolutely, absolutely. They are the real mentors. They are the real mentors, and mentors are supposed to only uplift,
True, sir.
show the direction, not inhibit them or not suppress them. Yes, Rita, this is fantastic. That what story you have mentioning so far, and let me tell you, this all comes with the self belief, which you rightly said that one has to believe first in himself. So it's a first is the self image, then self belief, and then self confidence, and finally the self esteem. And that is where one stands after developing all these steps. Now, let me just ask you that this how one can come from developing the self belief to the self confidence and to the self esteem. What do you think that why people, how people should take it in their stride to become a self confident and developing the self esteem or achieving the high self esteem?
Right. So first thing is the realization. Acceptance is the first thing. Whatever is happening in your life, instead of reacting to that particular point in a negative way, I call it the swap game. Or I call it think opposite. So this is the strategy I normally teach, and this is what I believe. When a negative thought comes to you, or immediately take charge that this is something I don't want to think, and swap it with something more positive. So this is one mental exercise you can do. I always tell people to wear a rubber band, not very tight, a little loose rubber band. And anytime any self doubt, any negative thought comes to you, just pull that rubber band and punish yourself for thinking negative. And then instantly swap it to something positive. So when that rubber band hits you the 11th time, you get so fed up with that pain, you automatically start swapping to opposite before even you think negative. So that is one exercise that A lot of people say that positive thinking doesn't work. But I would like to give an example to those people is that if you walk around with a water bottle, just imagine that you're running with a water bottle. There is the water in the bottle is shaking, and as it's shaking, it's creating a lot of vibrations inside that bottle. Similarly, human body has 78% water. Don't you think that shaking of a body also would be creating vibrations? Now that water was being shaken physically by us, but this water in our body is shaken by our thoughts. Thoughts is nothing but electricity. It's the energy. And when those vibrations are created in our body, if I'm negative person, if I'm all the time thinking negative, all the things which match that frequency will automatically get pulled into my life because the frequencies match. And if I'm a positive person, automatically positive things will come to my life. We can take an example. You go to a party and you see a drug addict. That guy has just walked in. He doesn't know anyone. But towards the end of the party, you will see him standing with another drug addict having something. How did he find him? Through vibrations. So whatever we are, whatever vibrations we have, we automatically attract those things. So people who don't believe in positive thought can try this out, that whenever you swap your thoughts, go into positive, automatically positive things for positive people, positive situations will come into your life. And you will be surprised, ye to meri kismat badli, nahi kismat nahi badli, planets nahi badle. It is the thoughts which changed it, the vibrations which changed it. So it's very, very important. First thing is to change the mindset. As I said, before others, you first change yourself. So when you can't change the world, change yourself. Because the key to actually being an achiever, a key to knowing yourself is only in your hands. No one else will know you better than you. So sit down, analyze what are the things I need to change, and start taking those baby steps. And slowly, slowly, those baby steps will turn into something big. Secondly, I would always say when people say things to you, they will say it is the habit of people. If you take one step ahead, 10 people will be there to pull you back. This is a law. This is how the society works. So when people say things to you, become deaf. Just close your ears. And when you become deaf, you don't hear anything. You only hear your own voice. And when you hear your own voice, then you do exactly what you want to do. So there is always this little baby inside us which tells us, okay, don't do, don't do, don't do. And we always say no. We always listen to that negative. But the only thing we need to do is to look inside. This is what my teacher made me realize. No one can change you. No one will hold your hand. It is your life. It is your journey, and only you can change it. So
Absolutely.
it's all the game of thoughts, sir.
Absolutely, Rita, which you, very important point, which you said that it is your life. You have to sit on the driver's seat. Don't give the driver's seat of your life to anybody else. And you should be 100% responsible for your life. Whatever you are today, because of your doings, your decisions, your habits.
True.
And as far as you talked about the thoughts, thoughts is the one which makes the mindset.
True.
The thoughts get into the change into the feelings, and feelings change into the emotions, and emotions takes you to the actions, and actions again brings you to the thoughts, so that the cycle continues. So if it is a positive thought, positive actions, everything will be good to you. But if you have that cycle of the negative thoughts, naturally the negative mindset, then fixed mindset, and you will end up in the problems. So what a concept you have brought in, this rubber band and all. It's quite a learning. Rita, thank you so much for telling this to the viewer.
Thank you, sir.
So after the college, Rita, you finally, once you change your thought process, you change your thinking, you started loving yourself, and you found your way out, and you appeared for the army exam, and you got selected, and you did extremely well in that, to the extent that you be adjudged as the best cadet of that. How was the life there?
Sir, I think it was a wonderful life. Whatever I am today, I would say thanks to the army. The discipline. When I joined, sir, we were very few females in the army. And there were only two ways to get into the army for girls, either go through AMC or go through MNS. So I took the easy way out.
Yeah.
So I went in through MNS, but it was a total contrast to the civil life I was living. And it was a world in itself. And I was very much welcomed in that world. So because I'm short at height, I knew I will never be able to excel in sports or those adventure activities. I completely focused because I knew that was my strength. My strength is to be a performer. So I was always performing in various functions and academics and stuff. And that's how I excelled. And the discipline, and as when we were in the army, we are always taught the OLQ. And when I was learning that subject, sir, I fell in love with that subject, and I realized that this is my strength. And if I ever leave the army, I will carry this OLQ to the civil world, because when I used to go on my annual vacation, I used to see none of my friends had that kind of a finesse or etiquette which was taught to us in the army. So just for fun, I started teaching them, these fine dining etiquette and stuff. And I realized I was good at it. So a blue map had already started forming in my brain that this is something which I want to, do, because I realized that was my biggest strength. Inspiring, teaching, demonstrating was my biggest strength in that. So a couple of important things from that OLQ, I picked them up and I started building on them so that I can actually build on my future, because I wasn't sure how long would I be in the services. But the OLQ is something which I carry till today. The discipline is something I carry till today. The respect for everyone, the respect for all religions, the respect for all cultures, diversity. I think no one can teach this better to you than being in the Indian Army. So I'm extremely thankful to that, sir.
I agree with you, Rita, whatever you brought out. And viewers, for your information, what OLQ word she has used, it's a officer-like qualities, which is called in the army, that what quality an officer has, that is we acronym as a OLQ. And those qualities are like, how do you dress up? How do you conduct? How do you speak? How do you communicate? How do you sit on the dining table? How do you start eating? Or whatever you do in life, how there is a way of communicating yourself, way of interacting yourself, way of presenting yourself. That is what the OLQ she is referring to. And that is what is being taught. It's a big industry now in the civil world, where you say the pageant coaching or anything else, everywhere these qualities are required. And to be a successful, whether inside army or the outside, these qualities are one of the most important factor in life. So that is what she brought those qualities from army, and now she's here with us, and she built up on that, and finally she became a full-fledged life coach and the pageant coach. So Rita, let's know that now your this journey, the new life which you have started as a pageant coach, how did you start and what all you are at now?
So, sir, I took voluntary retirement from Indian Army in 1984, my husband being a civilian. So, following that, the OLQ, which I'd learned, the officers like qualities, as you just mentioned, in the Army were quite hardcore for civil people. So, I had to tweak it a little, and to learn to tweak that, I went to a finishing school. I learned advanced personality development from them, and I opened my own personality development school. So, initially, in those days, in 80s, people were only focused that kids should have good degree. They were not bothered about overall packaging. They were not aware that image matters. It's only later, when we became more globalized, people realized that if you're going to work in a global atmosphere, you need to know how to fit in. And that's where image has, the packaging, how you look, how you talk, how you walk matters. So initially, I really struggled to teach this to people. Hardly people used to come to me. And anytime people will hear the word personality development, they would think, okay, oh, she's going to turn our kids into a model. But in those days, many a times, I even invited parents to come and sit in the classroom, listen to what I'm saying, and slowly and steadily, through word of mouth, people started getting to understand what personality development is. Then they told their school people. The school people called me, so I started with school seminars. Then school teachers and all told to some colleges. Then I went to colleges. Then from colleges to corporate, from corporate to the fashion industry, to the glamour, these TV and film, these people used to send their children, or they used to come to me. the CEOs from the corporate world, they used to come to me for that. But somewhere around when Ashwarya and Sushmita became Miss World and Miss Universe, all of a sudden, there was a big boom in the grooming industry. So a whole lot of people, choreographers and makeup artists and hairdressers and shoe designers and dress designers and all kinds of people got into that industry, and it started growing. And because these two girls inspired so many girls to become a beauty queen, a lot of kids wanted to learn how to become a beauty queen. So that's where I started grooming them on the importance of how to become a beauty queen. And beauty queen, it's not just about beauty, it's a
Yes.
responsibility,
Yes.
because you, with that crown, carry something really heavy on your head. And most of these good beauty pageants are attached to a cause, so you need to work for that. It's a job in itself. So I made them understand what a pageant is, started working on them. And I'm extremely happy, though I had small victories over these years, but my biggest victory came 17 years, 18 years after Miss World, now 2017. Miss World Manushi Chiller, she started her journey with me. And when she had come to me with her mom for the first time, never did I ever know that one fine day she's going to bring so many laurels to this country and to me as a mentor. And following that, a lot of victories have happened. So it's just one line. Basically, if you look at it, sir, everyone, for that matter, all industries, all people, everyone wants to look good, wants to talk good, want to really know how to conduct themselves. So personality development is the basis of all the industries. So I'm adjustable. They put me anywhere and I'm there, whether it is the auto industry, the Audi people or Toyota people, or the hotel industry like Oberoi's, or maybe even a small resort. Everybody needs etiquette, grooming, uniform protocols. You know what we learned in the army, how to respect the uniform, the importance of uniform.
Yes.
So I started teaching all that, and now, by God's grace, I think there's no industry I haven't touched.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful and very creditable that how long way you have come.
So
Rita, I also read somewhere that you yourself has become, I think it is Himachal Pradesh or some one more crown. Could you just tell the viewers about your achievement?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. So somewhere around 82, when I came for my annual vacation, things were not so tough for us in the army. Those the rules were not so tough. So I was on my annual vacation in Shimla when there was this big ad going on for becoming a Himachal queen. And I still wanted to test myself. I wanted to know whether I've actually got out of my, that mindset, whether I can actually really become a winner with this height. So I entered my name. And as I said, beauty pageants in those days were not about beauty. It was more about what kind of
Brilliant.
a person you are. So that's where, when where the talent round was, or where the personal interviews was, I excelled very well, and I was crowned Himachal Queen 1982. And again, that was a boost to me, that yes, again, it was a proof that height does not matter. It's what you have within yourself that matters. And now when I'm a senior citizen, I got a chance. Again, somebody pushed me, okay, this is a great contest, you must participate. So I participated in Mrs. Supreme Queen Universe, and I won that, and I became Mrs. Supreme Queen Universe just last year before the pandemic. So, sir, there is no, if you want to really achieve something, I think age and height, nothing should be a barrier. You take a fish out of water anytime, it is always fresh. So, always remember, age is just a number. It's how
Yes.
you feel within
Yes.
yourself that
Yes.
will really help you. And
Yes.
the more you feel younger, the more you will look younger, sir. When I tell my age to people, so many people don't believe it. They say, no, 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 you're lying. I said, okay, see my birth certificate. And they say, okay, so what do you eat to maintain yourself? And I say, I have be positive capsule every day. So you need to be positive every day, and this will keep you going for a very, very long time, sir.
So wonderful. And there is no denying the fact that your thoughts, your positivities may keeps you younger. And age is just a number to achieve anything in life.
True,
And
sir.
you have proved that. Many people have proved that thing, in fact. Uh, so there was at one time that you yourself wanted to become a model. You also wanted to become a Miss World or Miss Universe and all. But notwithstanding that, finally you are the Queenmaker yourself.
True, sir. True.
Okay. And people know you in the industry as a Queenmaker. So let's know something about viewers, that what exactly this.
Yes, sir. So when I was, as I said, that when I was small, I was always made to stand first in the line. Even when there was something going on the stage, they used to push me to stand in front. So that really gave me a lot of love for the glamour world and love for being on stage. And I always thought, okay, I should become a model, I should become an air hostess, I should become a beauty queen. But as you know, sir, my height is short. Everywhere I went, there was rejection, rejection, rejection. And that dream, that big dream, was just buried in me. I thought I'll never be able to make it. But now, God, God always fulfills your dreams. If you're persistent, if you are resilient, you stick on to it. So I stuck on to it, and now instead of making me a beauty queen or a model, God has given me the strength to create them. So I create models, I create film stars, I create beauty queens, I create air hostesses. So I'm on a much bigger platform, and the media, always either, inspires you, puts you up in big platforms. So wherever I go, people call me as Queenmaker, specifically after Manushi Chiller. So this tag has been, this big label has come now, the Queenmaker, from mini road roller to Queenmaker. It's been quite a journey, sir.
So wonderful. And at the end of it, you see, Rita, it is your hard work. And what you said, resilient and other thing, I put it in 3 letters. I call it 3C. That is your commitment, your consistency, and your courage. The courage to do something with commitment and the consistency. I think you can achieve anything. Let be any kind of rejection, any number of rejection. So long as you don't accept the failure, you are not a failure.
Absolutely.
You are failure the day you accept that you are a failure.
True. And sorry,
yeah.
sir, carry on.
Yeah. And that I always say that far end of the failure is always a success. Okay. And you should always fail forward. Means you fail, get up again and move forward. Because every failure is a step toward the success. And that is what you did. And that is why you are here. Now you can.
Yeah, I was just saying, sir, that, as you grow on the path of success, I told you, society is in such a way that you take one step, there'll be 10 people who are ready to pull you back. But you must always remember, when people talk about you, initially I used to get very upset. Oh, she said this about me, he said that about me. But now I have realized that, when you become bigger and when people talk about you, that's a real revelation that you are actually successful.
Yes.
When people are jealous of you, I think it's an indirect compliment to you that
Yes,
you have
yes.
something which they don't have.
Yes.
And always remember that life works on 80-20 formula, the Partha's law. So if 20 people are talking bad about you, there are 80 who love you. So
Yes.
don't look at those 20 who talk bad about you. Look at those 80 who inspire you, who love you. And that 80 are more than enough for you. You don't need to please. You cannot please everyone in this life.
Yes.
You cannot. However much you try, you cannot please everyone. So even if you please the maximum number of people and you're happy with it, it's good enough. So
Yes.
don't fall down. Don't be a people pleaser, because that's another negative thing which will pull you down.
Yes.
If you, as I said, it's not necessary that everyone will accept you. There will be people who reject you. So that's okay. I always look at it, those 20, it's fine. They're 80 with me. So it's how, again, I said, it's how you look at life. So this is what I wanted to add, sir.
But what Rita, you said that 80-20 formula works everywhere. The more haters you create, that symbolizes that you are more successful.
True, sir.
Okay. The more the hater, the more the keychain comes to you, that means that you are truly now successful. Otherwise, people will not know.
Yes, sir.
That is one thing. Another thing that 80-20 formula also applies there, that it is the 80% of your mindset which matters. Skill set is just 20%.
True.
So if your mindset is growth mindset, then you are 80% automatically successful. True. The 20% skill set always will follow you. So that is 80-20 formula is very much fitting everywhere. Basically, wherever there is a good or bad things are there. Okay. So you rightly brought out that. Now, let me just take you back to an incident where you were approached by an NGO to groom a lady who was differently abled. And you find a challenge in that how to coach or mentor that. And finally, you mentored her, you took a decision of an adverse condition. And despite that, you being successful, she became a winner of that pageant. And let's know that, I think, a little story to the viewers.
Sure, sir. Sir, about, I think it was 2018, an NGO by the name of Wheeling Happiness, which is being run by Padma Shri Dr. Deepa Malik, who works for the Paralympic Committee. So she brought me a girl who was a Para-Olympian as well, but she was completely deaf. Very pretty girl, and she wanted me to train her for Miss Deaf World. Now, the biggest challenge for me was that I didn't know the sign language and I just didn't know how to train her. She was using a machine which was giving her about 20 or 10% of hearing. But somehow, with the help of that, with the help of body language, with the help of diagrams, demonstrations, I worked on that girl, and I wasn't very sure, but she was so very good at learning. You know, when
Passionate.
when God takes away one thing, He adds a lot into your life. So God may have taken away her hearing, but He did give her a lot of intelligence. So she picked up things very beautifully, and then she went to represent India internationally, and she won Miss Deaf World. And for the first time, India won this crown of Miss Deaf World. And her name is Vidisha Balyan, and she's doing wonderfully well. And along with that, there was another very challenging situation where another NGO, I forget the name, they approached me to train for a girl for Miss Transgender International. And I loved that because I said, I just love inclusion. So much believe in diversity. And I was happy that there is a pageant like this for trans people. So again, we trained that girl. She also went international, and she also won a very big crown out there. So now, by God's grace, I'm always open to challenges. So now coming up very soon, I'm training the cancer warriors for Miss Cancer Queen. Then I have trained the Miss Wheelchair. So there are a lot of such challenges which come forward, and it's a learning experience for me too as well.
Absolutely.
Not only does the child benefit from it, but I also learn in the bargain. So I'm also growing with it. So I'm open to any challenges anybody wants to give me with any kind of training for any kind of a person. I will be giving my best. Rest is in the hands of Almighty.
Awesome, awesome, Rita. This is something incredible that the person who have deficient hearing and then finally becoming the world champion and world Miss World or whatever it is, and bringing the crown to India, and you being the mentor, it's creditable, incredible.
Thank you, sir.
Now, this Deepa Malik is the one same army officer's wife?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Who is a short putter
Yes,
Paralympian.
yeah.
Yeah, I've seen.
She and her daughter runs an NGO by the name of Wheeling Happiness.
Okay.
So they help a lot of physically challenged people to enter various fields.
Okay.
And this is how this girl was made to enter into pageantry. I get a lot of requests from her for training people for modeling world, and maybe telling people how to do public speaking and stuff. So she's doing a lot for the country, sir.
Okay. Fantastic. It's incredible. Now, Rita, you have also written a book, which is a best-selling book, and that book is your beauty pageant's green room.
Sir.
And I believe it is a best-selling book, and world over it is quite appreciated. Yes, beautiful book. You can show it little more to the viewers.
Yes, sir.
You can show it little up. Yeah, it's wonderful book. So guys, you can go for it if you want to be the groomed and learn the nuances of the grooming. So,
Yes.
but can you tell something about that also?
Yes, sir. So a lot of kids used to approach me from all over India who wanted to come and learn from me, but they couldn't afford to, give my fee, or they were too far from me to come and learn from me. And I also realized that glamour world is like a bhool bhulaiya. If you do not know how to enter, where to enter, the right people, you get lost. You really don't know what to do. So then I decided that I must help these children to enter the world in a right way with the right people. So I started this book that you can groom yourself from home without my help to enter not only pageantry, modeling, but even if you want to develop your own personality, you can do that. Now when I wrote this book, I approached Sushmita Sen, who's Miss Universe,
Universe.
to write the foreword. And when she read this book, she was really really very happy, and she said, well, this is something I wanted to do myself, but what you have written is really going to inspire a lot of people. And when the book was being launched, the gentleman who launched this, his name is Anurag Batra, who is the head of the Business World magazine. So when he went through the book, he says, oh my God, I think this book should be referred to all the colleges and to all the corporates, because it has everything about power dressing, about looking after your own self, about resilience, about bouncing back, stress management, anything and everything. Because I divided this book into four parts: what happens before the contest, what happens during the contest, like what you need to prepare, even not contest, even if you want to prepare your personality, what happens when you win, what are your responsibilities, and if you cannot win, and if you failures in life, how do you come out of it? So that was the last chapter. So I've tried to cover everything I can in this, sir.
Incredible, incredible, wonderful, wonderful. Rita, in fact, you have also been awarded by the President of India. The many awards you have achieved.
So
Could you just tell something about that? Which is this award, President of India? On what occasion you were felicitated?
yeah, sir, this award came to me by the Scouts Association. I trained them on the youth on personality development. So for through the Scouts, 1 year I got Lord Beaton Powell Award. The next year I got Annie Besant Award, and they all came via President of India from Scouts and Guides Association of India. And just last year during pandemic, I was approached by World Book of Records, because I'm the only pageant coach who has trained people from various profiles. As I said, Miss this, Miss Transgender, Miss Deaf, Miss, So looking at that part of it, they went through my profile, and they had awarded me and honored me at the World Book of Record with a certificate. Uh, so these are the two things which I'm extremely proud of. And 3 years back, I also won Lifetime Achievement, Rajiv Gandhi Lifetime Achievement Award. So God has been kind, sir. I think I have more than 60 awards or decorations under my belt,
Fantastic.
most of them being national ones. So God has been very, very kind. And thank to all the students who have given me the opportunity to get these awards, display them. It's all dedicated to them, sir.
Fantastic, Rita. And finally, you have been given the doctorate also. Which university has given the doctorate?
So this is from Himachal University in cross-cultural communication. This is what I was teaching. So on that, sir.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So, what is the last advice you would like to give the viewers as far as getting out of that box of prison of the
Okay.
society?
Okay. Two things, sir. Number one, stop comparing yourself. Because when we compare, there is no end of comparison. So stop comparing yourself, because again, I would say you are a designer piece God has created. So accept yourself as somebody unique. Stop comparing. Even five fingers are not same. Even twins are not same. They also have something different in them. So when there is no one like you on this earth, you are a proven designer piece. So stop comparing yourself. Accept your plus and minus and work on that. And two, remember, everything happens on time, at the right place, at the right time. So the biggest lesson I would say, have patience. Put in whatever best you can into your life, but have patience. Sometimes it takes time for things to materialize, but that doesn't mean that things are not happening. When you're hitting the rock, it may appear that it's not breaking, but maybe Just one last, that thing was left for you to break it. So never give up in life. Never give up. Continue working whichever way you want to work on your goal, and have patience. If not today, tomorrow, things will definitely change, because life is like a wheel. Sukh bhi aata hai, dukh bhi aata hai, sukh bhi aata hai. So if the timings are bad, good times are just round the corner. So have patience.
Absolutely. So, with these words, what you mean to say, never give up, keep taking actions. Unless you take action, you can't expect anything. So, keep taking action, never give up. With this, Rita, thank you very much with such a profound learning, profound lessons to the viewers, and wish you all the best in all the endeavors in the future. And thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me over, sir. And the viewers who are watching me, if you ever need my help, I'm just a phone call away. Thank you, sir. Thank you.